Well, first off, I want to say, and I mean this genuinely, I am grateful to be here, and I have a lot of respect for everyone in this room, because I know there are other worthwhile things that you could be doing right now, right? But you're choosing to spend time here, you're choosing to bring up the energy level here, you're choosing to improve yourself and improve your business. And like, who's got something worthwhile they could be doing if they were not here? All right, gentlemen, you're in the front row. What could you be doing worthwhile?
I could be working on my business at home.
Could be working on your business at home. Someone else? Yes, ma'am?
It's my birthday today.
It's her birthday today. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. So, because of that, I don't take it lightly, what my role is here. And I tried to come up with a creative, catchy title, but then all I came up with was this. So what that lacks in creativity, I'm confident it will make up for in practicalness. So there are 3 outcomes that we're going to talk about today. And I'm confident that one of the 3 outcomes will be beneficial to you. Perhaps not all of them, but who cares, right? It's when you're at a conference, you're not here to meet every single person. You're here to create substantive relationships with each other. When you're here at a conference, you're not here to apply everything every speaker says. We're here to take bits and pieces that make sense for us and then apply. So I am confident that one of these things, if not multiple of these things, will be beneficial to you. So let's get into it. Today's guide to helping you. First, who raises money or is going to raise money for their business? All right, good amount of people. All right. What we're going to talk about is a way to raise money at scale without your direct involvement. We're going to talk about who you need, and we're going to talk about a 3-step process for raising money at scale without your direct involvement. Partnerships. Who is in a partnership or wants to be in a partnership business-wise? All right, good amount of us. There's a common partnership blunder that I have noticed from friends of mine, and we're going to talk about that and how to avoid it. Who's a limited partner on deals? We're going to talk about a tracker that I came up with my accounting firm to track the limited partnership investments that I'm doing to see what's working, what's not working. And I'm going to give you that tracker, no cost, no strings attached. You'll get it emailed within the next 2 weeks after this conference. Anyone not raise their hand? Any troublemakers? None of those 3 things apply? No troublemakers? This is what makes life spicy. No troublemakers? Okay, well, we'll still talk about 5 keys to success that if you're seeking certain things, then I can perhaps be helpful on delivering those 5 things, delivering on those 5 things based on some stuff that's worked for me. Let's get into it really quick. Joe Fairless is my name, co-founder of Ashcroft Capital, $1.9 billion worth of apartment communities. I am also a limited partner on 86 deals currently. Those are current deals that are happening right now. I've been a limited partner on other deals that have exited and gone full cycle. So when I speak about being a limited partner, I'm speaking from experience. And when I speak about partnership, I'm speaking from experience also. And also the creator of Best Ever Platform. So a lot of people rose their hand about raising money. And why is it important to learn how to raise money and create a system that does not directly involve you? Why is that important? Well, it's important because if we eventually want to scale, we need to have a team and we need to have the system in place to eventually scale the business. So here's the challenge that you're going to come across when you scale. Right now, when you speak to investors, you're the guy or you're the gal. Like, they know you, right? You're in the circle of trust with them. But the challenge is whenever you scale and you start building out an investor relations team, the potential investors, they don't necessarily know the investor relations individuals. So how do you solve for that? How do you bridge that gap? That's what we're going to talk about. And that's the challenge we've got to solve for in order to truly create a system that will help you raise money without you being directly involved. And when I say directly involved, I'm full-time Ashcroft. Like that is what I focus on. But if you are in the weeds all day long, that's not going to work. I know Mark Cuban says, I want to be needed but not necessary when he invests with his entrepreneurs on Shark Tank. I want to be needed but not necessary. And so that's what we're talking about here. So here are the team members that you need at minimum to create a system at scale to raise money without your direct involvement. First, you'll need a marketing manager. Who is that marketing manager? That marketing manager is likely, or I should say ideally, a media planner, has a media planning background, because their responsibility is going to be to identify areas where accredited investors are, and then to create partnerships or place advertisements, depending on your budget, to attract those individuals. So you've got a marketing manager. That is who is needed, and that is what they do. How they are evaluated is very straightforward. They are evaluated based on, surprise, surprise, how many new investors that they bring in that are qualified. And qualified depends on how you choose to qualify investors. It could be as simple as they file U.S. taxes, or a U.S. entity files taxes, they're accredited, or if you do 506B, maybe they don't have to be accredited, however you want to qualify them. The second person is a CRM administrator. So the marketing manager brings in accredited investors, attracts accredited investors, and the CRM administrator's responsibility is to engage those accredited investors digitally. And how they are, and their background, well, they might have been a digital marketer for, say, Land Rover in the past, a brand or a company that has previously attracted accredited investors. And when they attract those when those investors are attracted, this this CRM administrator, they are creating drip campaigns that are specific to the accredited investors. For example, if the marketing manager partners with a physician conference, then the CRM administrator is going to be creating customized drip campaigns for those physicians from that conference. That's who they are. That's what they do. And I'll tell you one other thing that they do that's really important, and quite frankly, our CRM administrator just started doing this last week. And I don't know how it escaped me, because this is really critical. Optimizing your emails to your investors. What are they clicking on? What aren't they clicking on? What should the titles be? What's engaging them? We weren't even doing that until a week ago, and we've just started that process. I mean, so there's lots of things that they can be doing, but it all relates to digitally optimizing for engagement, and that's how they're evaluated. They don't need commercial real estate experience. These first two individuals don't need it, but they need experience attracting accredited investors and engaging with accredited investors digitally. Now, when you're first starting out, it can be the same person. And for my company, it was. When we first started out, we had one person doing both of these roles. Eventually, you'll grow and you'll have one person who's overseeing both of these roles. The third team member to raise money without your direct involvement so you can scale is investor relations person. And I imagine a lot of companies, a lot of people here, you probably have, if you have a syndication business and it's had some success, you probably have an investor relations person. So what is their background? Well, they, in my opinion, they must have commercial real estate experience. And on that note, they must be a peer of those that they're speaking with. They must be perceived as a peer, and they must actually be a peer. When a potential investor is calling your firm and jumps on a call to talk about what your firm has to offer, if it's coming from a peer of theirs, someone who also has professional accomplishments and also is accredited and can talk shop as peers, completely different conversation. So that's what you want in that individual. And how are they evaluated? Simple, number of phone calls. How many phone calls were completed each week? So those are the minimum team members that are needed. Now, that's the team. Now let's talk about a simple 3-step process for once you have the team in place. Now here are ways to scale that. Where are my fellow nerds at? Who's this guy? Wow, only 2 nerds? 3, 4? All right, more. Okay, who is he? Magnus. If I were to put a chessboard in front of him, would more people have put their hands up? Wow. Okay. I thought chess was more popular. I must live in a bubble because I averaged 7.2 chess matches a day last year. It's ridiculous. Mostly 1-minute blitz matches. This is Magnus Carlsen. And what we want to do is we want to cultivate and empower our investor relations team. And when I say investor relations team, I am not talking about those first 2 individuals. I'm not talking about the marketing manager. I'm not talking about the CRM administrator. I'm talking about the investor relations person and anyone under him or her. We want to cultivate and empower those individuals to become what I call micro CRE celebs, so micro commercial real estate celebrities. Because who does investor calls right now? Who fields those calls right now? Oh, I don't, but yeah. Fortunately, I have the team. Raise your hands again, real quick. Okay, so when you have that call with the investor, there can be 2 different types of conversations. And correct me if I'm wrong for anyone who put their hands up. First conversation is, Joe, so nice to finally meet you. I have heard you on XYZ podcast, or I saw you at a certain event, and I just have a couple questions and just would love to talk more about what you all have going on. That's one type of conversation. Another type of conversation is, sorry, I didn't realize this call was scheduled for now, but yeah, I'm good. Who are you, and what does your business do, and tell me about the business model. I mean, totally different. And surprise, surprise, what's going to convert better, right? Which investor is likely going to invest more, or more likely to invest, right? The first one. And so what we want to do is we want to cultivate our team to become the micro CRE celebs so that they have those first type of conversations, not the second type of conversations. And how do we do that? Well, first off, I want to define what I mean by becoming a micro CRE celeb. And it's very simple. Be well respected and listened to by 1,000 people. Tim Ferriss often talks about, it's better to be selectively famous with 1,000 people than massively popular. And there's a great blog post about that. It's so true. And so we're not looking for massive exposure with your investor relations team, but we're looking for them to be well respected and listened to by at least 1,000 people and engaged. So when they post something, when they do a video, they've got 1,000 people who are engaged and respecting what they have to say. So that's what we want. That's what we're doing. So how do we do that? Well, how we do that is we, as I mentioned, we empower them to have their own channels. And all this should be done before you do any of this. I highly recommend speaking to your securities attorney, your compliance department, if you have one, and make sure that everything is compliant as you're building this out. But how you can do it is, these are specific examples of team members on our investor relations team. You have 3 minutes of real estate with Danielle Jackson. She's got a video series that she has started up recently, property tours with Evan. And the key is to play to the individual strengths that are on your team. You don't want to, you don't want a square peg round hole thing. You want, if someone is comfortable or wants to do video, then great, do video. If that's not their thing, they want to host property tours with investors, then find out a way to have a series with property tours and investors and make that interesting. So cater it to the strengths of the individual. Second part to create a system is what I call a content treasure chest. And this doesn't look like a treasure chest, I get it, so I added a little graphic here. Where is it? There's a coin, gold coin, to spice it up. It's important to have content when you are on a call. So everyone that put their hands up earlier and said, yeah, I speak to investors. Well, I imagine, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I imagine after your investor conversations, you send an email with something. It probably a document for a latest deal that you have, or maybe it's your company overview, whatever. Well, let's take that a step further, and let's continue to position your investor relations team as experts. And so how do we do that? How we do it is, and there's some keywords that I underline here. We create we have simply a Google document. We have a Google document, it's shared with content that is pre-approved by compliance and our legal team that we can share with our investors. And during those investor conversations, when an investor asks about, 5 things to expect after investing in your first syndication, when an investor says, oh, what should I expect after I invest? I'll answer that question directly right now, but after this, I'm going to email you something that we wrote and put together that I'd be happy to share with you in more depth so you can read. Having that having something with every email that you send out after an investor conversation that is personalized to that conversation is really impactful, and it helps further position your team. And it's something super simple to do. It's just a matter of organizing it. And this idea came from a book that I read, Chet something, The Ultimate Sales Machine. And he said, man, when I go in, he's really good at sales. He said, when I go in, one of the first things I do is I gather all the stuff that they got. I make sure it's housed somewhere, and all team members, in his case, he's working with sales teams. I don't think about our investor relations team as sales teams by any means. But in his case, those sales teams, he said, I put the sales team, I make sure they have access to all this stuff because we want to get it in front and center into prospective clients or customers. So that's the second part. Very tactical, but very effective. And then the third part, you don't have to read all this stuff on this slide. What I'll tell you, though, is that one of my team members, he's been with us for 3 years. He had no experience in real estate whatsoever prior to joining. He's on the marketing side. And this past quarter, he was taking these courses, CCIM courses, level courses, and attending these webinars and sharing what he learned with us and with the team members in our quarterly meeting. I mean, imagine if all of your team members were taking CCIM level courses and attending webinars and then sharing it with your other team members. Imagine how impressive and powerful and knowledgeable your team would be. So the takeaway here, part 3 of 3, is require professional development, and not only require it to be shared with other team members. And that's your 3-part system for raising money at scale without your direct involvement. And again, be needed but not necessary. All right. Who's flying home versus driving? Who's flying home? All right. Dave. Here's a scenario. You're at the airport and the ticket agent says, sorry, pilot's not here. They got caught up in doing some other stuff. But don't worry, we got you covered. We have someone who's been with us for 10 plus years. They've been in the aviation industry. They're smart as a whip, and they're our best mechanic, and they're going to be flying the plane home. What do you say? Hell no, right? No, thank you. No, thank you. We laugh, but my goodness, we do this in real estate. Why wouldn't we? Hell no, we're not going to do that and fly in a plane. The mechanic's not going to fly me. Well, what about if they're a helicopter pilot? No, not a helicopter. I want someone who's flown that plane many times before successfully. They're going to fly me. We throw around the word partnership a lot. And the blunder that I see a lot of real estate investors make, especially beginning, especially when you're forming your team, but even as an experienced investor, I'll tell you 2 examples really quick. Example 1, a friend of mine, incredible experience as a commercial real estate investor, non-multifamily, other stuff, strip malls and other things. Super savvy, decade-plus experience, doing really well. Wanted to bring on a partner who would help him find deals. Met someone, great personality, great charisma, had a retail wholesaling business, and partnered up with this individual. And it resulted in not a lot of output because my friend was having to train this individual on the nuances of commercial real estate, and it's different from single-family homes. Another friend of mine, she does really well raising capital and was looking to complement her team by bringing on someone who would help her find deals. This individual who she brought on had 10-plus years experience as an underwriter for a lender. For multifamily at that, so check that box. Hired this person. This person did not find one deal. They didn't have broker relationships. And that's a key part. That is the part, broker relationships and knowing how to get deals. So what is the common denominator there? Don't train your partner. They're not partners if you have to train them on anything. Not partners. They are an expensive employee or an intern that's getting much more than they should. But a partner should immediately elevate us to another level and immediately be the solution for what we're looking to solve for. The solution, nothing else. The solution. You're my partner. Okay, you are the solution because you've done this successfully multiple times before. So if you find yourself holding your each other accountable in your partnership, it's not a partner. You're a unofficial personal development coach. If you find yourself teaching the partner about what he or she should be doing, you're not a partner. You're a business coach. And you have a very expensive employee that you are calling a partner, or maybe even an intern. So it's simple. One question to ask ourselves for partnerships: have they successfully done exactly what they will be doing with me? Lastly, really quick, tool for tracking your LP investments. I'm in 86 current deals as an LP. I do that to become a better GP and also to make money. I like real estate, so that's why I do it. This was created by myself and my accounting firm because I needed to determine what operators are delivering and what are not, which deals are delivering, which ones are not. It's super simple, but it's effective. It simply will rank your deals as an LP, and you can see which operator is doing well and which one aren't. Again, you're going to get this for free. We're going to email it to you, no strings attached. So enjoy it, and hopefully it's beneficial for you. You'll get it in the next 2 weeks via email. And lastly, we'll wrap up. If you are seeking, so these are some things that have been helpful for me. And over the past 12 months, since last time we got together virtually, last year in that case. So I haven't put any tried and true things like I drink a liter of wheatgrass, a liter of water with wheatgrass. I didn't put any stuff like that in there because perhaps you've heard of that. So this is new stuff that has been helpful for me. 5 things. One is, there we go. If you're seeking more rest and better tomorrows, it's worked for me. I turn 70% of the time, I turn the electronics off at 10 p.m. I'm not militant about that. If you're seeking humility, certainly we could use some more chess people in this audience. I'm a little disappointed I don't have some more chess friends here. But if you're seeking humility, which I put this together, I was like, oh, there's some irony there. If you're seeking humility, you're probably not, you're probably already humble. But nonetheless, if you're seeking humility, then chess is a good way to do that. Perspective, if you're seeking perspective, if whatever issue that's going on right now is putting you in a tizzy, then I recommend volunteering. I got away from it during the pandemic. I got in a tizzy more often than I should mentally, and then I get back into it. I do hospice, and it's perspective. It's perspective. One tactical thing with sanity and clarity for anyone who circulates emails that are reviewed by multiple people. This is very tactical, but it's been effective for a team. Simply write at the top of the document what is the primary outcome of this email or what is the primary outcome of this document. And then everyone who's reviewing will know exactly what we are seeking to accomplish with this document or with this correspondence. And then you can look through it through the same filter, and everyone's on the same page. And then more smarts. As I was getting in a rut on reading, it puts my mind to mush if I don't read enough. I don't feel like I'm as sharp. So I thought about putting a book in every room that I'm in my house, and then I just pick up the book and I read it instead of getting on my phone. So this is a summary, and that's everything for today. Thank you so much for being here. I'm grateful you're here.